It is minus 16 outside. The wind is blowing. This is proper Canadian winter weather. We're at 69. Well, hello and good morning and welcome back to Simply Greg's Review. You join us with a Tesla Model 3 long range today, and we're going to be heading up into northern Quebec, the Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean area, because as you know, Quebec is banning internal combustion vehicles starting in 2035. So we want to go up and see what charging is like in the far extremes of Quebec. So that's today's challenge. We're going to go test out some charging infrastructure and go on a bit of a road trip. Let's see if we can do this. So we have a Model 3 long range. We're sitting at 99% state of charge. We just unplugged from the house, which is behind us. It's showing 530 kilometers of range. Today is not going to be a range test or charging test or anything like that. It's just going to be a good old-fashioned road trip to check out what the charging infrastructure is like up in that area of Quebec outside of a large city center. So we'll put in here, we'll put in Saguenay, Quebec. It says 388 kilometers. And that area, there's not a lot of superchargers, so I would like to rely more on circuit electric when we have to. That's the whole point of this video, to test out the provincial charging infrastructure. But our first stop will probably be at a supercharger, only for convenience sake and the sake of saving some time. So here, let's navigate to Saguenay, see which way it's sending us. I don't really want to take... I don't want to go this way. I don't want to take the 20. I'd prefer to take the 40 because it's going to avoid traffic. So we'll take the 40. We'll go up through Laval, get on the 40, go this way. I think that's a bit easier because we'll already be north of the river. So we'll just go here. I've already reset the trips. Trips are all reset at 0. There's 50,000 kilometers on this car. Let's go get it done and we shall cue the music. Here we just passed Trois-Rivières. We're showing 111 kilometers to supercharger in Quebec City. That one's actually in a IGA parking lot. Showing 8% state of charge on arrival. We're at 46% state of charge, showing 246. What have we traveled here so far? We've traveled, where are the trips? 193 kilometers, roughly 2 hours of driving. So I think we'll be good for about 3 hours of endurance on the long range. It's minus 7 outside. It is quite cold, quite windy. The car's already preconditioned once. It will probably have to precondition once again as we start getting closer to that supercharger. I've been to that supercharger before. I'm not a huge fan. And as I said, we'll do a pretty deep charge there before heading up to Saguenay, and we'll be going up through L'Etape to see what's what at that charging site, to see if it was really like that Facebook video. But everything is good in here. 108 in the wintertime. Can't do much with that. You're always fighting the thermals in the winter and the weather and everything else. So we'll check back in once we hit the supercharger, and it just clicked in. It just switched on the preconditioning again. So we'll see you at the supercharger at the IGA in Quebec City, and hopefully it's not busy. Hopefully. Made it to the supercharger here in Quebec City in the IGA parking lot. Ran out of screen wash. I'll have to fill that up, but let's get charged up here. Let's just flip the camera around. There we go. Camera's flipped. 10% state of charge. And let's get plugged in here. Nice version 3. And it's windy. Let's get plugged in and see what we get. Let's see what we get in terms of power. Ramping up real good. Hopefully we get the full 250 here. But yeah, 161, 169, 172. battery's been preconditioning for quite a while, so hopefully, yeah, I think we'll see some good numbers here. Let's go into service. Let's go into service here. Software, sorry, my mistake. Yeah, we're at 245, so it will hit the 250. Service, boom, enter. Let's see what we have here for charging. High voltage system. No, sorry, that's in charging. There we go. So it's pulling almost 700 amps, 687 amps. You have how many posts here? 2, 4, 6. You have 8 posts, and you have 2 recharge eco. There's a Mustang charging. There was a Nissan Area here before that was plugged into the supercharger, but yeah, everyone's charging up. One of the few superchargers here in the Quebec City area, but version 3 working good. Laura's just inside the IGA picking up some fruit, and we'll be out of here probably in about 10 minutes, and we'll continue the drive heading further north into the wilderness up towards the Saguenay. This was a very, very deep charge here, only because where we're going, I don't know what the road conditions are like, and who knows what's happening up in La Tape. We won't have to charge there, I believe, but we'll just stop there to check out the site. That was the whole point of this video. Almost 65 kilowatt hours of energy. We $27, really, really cheap, 42 cents a kilowatt hour. Let's stop the charge. Let's stop the charge. We will get unplugged here. Let's get unplugged. Unplugged, in we go. That will close up, and let's get back on the road. Here we are on the 175. It is minus 16 outside. The wind is blowing. This is proper Canadian winter weather. We're at 69% state of charge, and this is pretty extreme weather, and we're here driving the Tesla, and it's working absolutely fine. You hear the wind. It looks absolutely brutally cold outside. It's showing 1 hour 25 minutes, 127 kilometers to Saguenay. It says we should arrive at 42% state of charge, but we're going to stop in La Tape, as I've mentioned before, to check out the charging infrastructure there on such a brutal day. And as we keep heading further north and higher up, that temperature is going to start dropping even more. So this is proper winter. This is not the 2 Celsius, 0 Celsius type thing. This is proper Canadian winter here. And I know the comment section will say, oh, you should do this at minus 30. You should do this at minus 40. You should do this at minus 50. This is pretty extreme. This is probably the most extreme I've driven in an EV in, but everything is good here. Heating is on. We have good heat, 20 Celsius. Everything's working good here. We're all having a good time. So we'll check in once we hit the rest stop charging site in La Tape, which should be fairly shortly, I would guess. All right, we'll see you there. Well, you join us now in La Tape. It is minus 16, so I don't know how this is going to turn out or how long the battery will last in my camera. We actually don't need to charge. I did plug in for about 5 minutes, but this place is super busy. We'll make this short and sweet before the frostbite sets in. Model 3 is good. We're almost at our destination. Behind us is the FreeWire 200 kilowatt unit that's broken and they're out of business. But I'll show you the site here. So this place actually gets quite busy. This is in the middle of nowhere. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like 7 circuit electric, 50, 50, 100. There's another 50, there's a 100, there's a 50, and 2 180s. Super busy spot here right off the 175. There's a lineup. There's a ID4 and F-150 Lightning waiting. Bolt, ID4, Tesla, they're all charging up. Brutally cold out here, but I think they need more infrastructure here in La Tape. It might be a power supply problem, but I know they tried with the 200 kilowatt FreeWires, but they didn't work. and then they went out of business, so that was kind of a big waste of money. But nice rest stop. It just needs more charging infrastructure, especially if the power goes down here. That could be a bit of a problem. And I believe there's a huge generator here, and my hands are freezing. I didn't bring any gloves because I forgot them at my house. The transformer is right back here. The transformer is here, and all your charging infrastructure, your switchgear, your cabinets, 2 ABB Terra 184s with the bigger cables on them, so they'll do up to 400 amp boost. But yeah, this is in really the middle of nowhere. There's nothing much out here between Saguenay and Quebec City. So we'll get back on the road here because I am freezing. That was cold. That was minus 16. My hands are not going to like that. If you do end up here, I really think you should have the Circuit electric card. Cell phone service is kind of spotty, and to activate the charge with the app, you might have a problem depending on who your network provider is. So I really suggest having a Circuit electric card, preferably the new style card that works on the newer equipment as well. I believe you need it to activate it with Cam Power. But as I mentioned, nice site up here, cool to see in the middle of nowhere. I just don't think they have enough infrastructure here, because it's still lining up back there. Like, you have another guy in F-150 Lightning and old Hyundai Ioniq, the original Ioniq. And here in Quebec, we have a lot of Bolts, a lot of Konas, a lot of Leafs, things that EV things that charge quite slow. So it sucks if you have a faster charging car and you need the faster charging infrastructure, and it's being taken up by that. But it happens. It's pretty sure we're not the only place that suffers from the slower charging cars, and those cars also don't have quite a lot of range. So this is kind of a last chance to charge before you hit back in Quebec City. I'm absolutely frozen. So we're showing 109 kilometers to Saguenay. We should arrive at 44% state of charge. The Tesla is absolutely just like hitting it out of the park in terms of efficiency and this cold weather. Super impressive. Perhaps it would have been more interesting in Mach 1, but we're here to check the charging infrastructure in areas away from large cities like Montreal or Quebec City or that corridor. But so far so good. So far so good. Impressed with what we see. A lot of EVs here in Quebec, as you already know. So let's continue. Hello from Alma, Quebec. We are very far from home right now. You join us here at a Ford dealership that has a Circuit electric Chem Power site. Pretty cool setup. We'll go over it. I just plugged in the Model 3. It's only pulling 104 kilowatts, but we'll go see if we can find a power cable. And yes, I am wearing my wife's hat. It's the only one I apparently brought. Very good drive here from L'Étape to here in Alma. We'll charge up in Alma, we'll go get some lunch, and we'll start heading back towards Tadoussac area, back towards the St. Lawrence. But so far, this absolutely is the star of the video today. Model 3 long range, absolutely just crushing it out there in terms of efficiency, and it's about minus 10, minus 12 out here, and quite windy. Let's go have a look at this site quickly. So we have the Model 3 that's charging up on my CCS adapter. I believe these are all-in-one Chem Power units. Let's see if we could find any power numbers on them. Yeah, so these are all-in-ones. Let's see, I wonder how many modules they have stacked in them. But this is at a Ford dealership here in Alma. We're using my CCS adapter. Are there any? Can't find any power numbers on them whatsoever, which is strange. And I wonder how many modules they have inside. It's 50 kilowatts per module, so there might only be 2 modules in this one, but it says 120 kilowatts max. Okay, so that makes sense. There are probably 60 kilowatt modules inside the unit, so that's about normal then. I thought it was a bit more high power here. But still a super cool setup. Ford branding, circuit electric. Kind of goes well with the Model 3 motif here. And we got some level 2 ABB charging here all at the dealership. So yeah, this is in Alma, Quebec. So we're roughly 600 kilometers from Montreal, but super big on the EVs here as well. Really cool to see Model 3 hanging in well. We'll charge up here for about 25 minutes and we'll start heading back. Let's have a look at the numbers while we're still charging here. So from our last stop in Le Tap, I did plug in there, but only got like 3% because we basically ran in, used the washroom and ran out and checked out the site. So that's 162 kilometers since then, or about 2 hours and 14 minutes since we arrived here. We've traveled 566 kilometers since we left our house this morning. We've used 118 kilowatt hours of energy and we're averaging 208 watt hours per kilometer now. Granted, look at the temperature outside. It's been crazy wind, as you've seen in the GoPro footage, and it's just been properly winter, properly cold, everything going on here. So I think that's actually a pretty good number what we're averaging total on this trip so far in the winter time, and the speeds have been quite high. We are at 70 kilowatts. It's just ramped down, 66% state of charge. I think it's time to end this. Sorry, we'll just go back to charging. Where's charging here? We will stop charging. Let's stop charging. Then we'll get unplugged from the Kempower. Of course, it works because it's finished. Just now I have to try to unplug that. Very difficult to do one-handed, but pretty cool site. I don't know if the PATAR is working on it, but 800 volts, 150 kilowatt, 400 volts, 120 kilowatt. So, and you need the new blue card here. That's why I keep saying if you have the old circuit electric card, pay and get the new blue card, because this new equipment doesn't work on the old stuff. So we'll get back on the road here and we'll head to La Malbaie, I believe. So that's it from Alma. That appears to be a charging provider that I've never seen. RL, I guess that's a regional gas station chain here, but 200 kilowatts, CCS in Chatamo, and that one, sorry, is 60 kilowatts. It looks like CCS in Chatamo as well, but that's very cool. In the middle of nowhere, there's charging here, and a new provider that I'll have to add to my list. Sometimes you roll the dice and they don't come up with the numbers you want. Unfortunately, we had to come to the version 2 Tesla supercharger. This is an issue with circuit electric, is that sometimes you only have 50 kilowatts or 100 kilowatts on a shared site. So I figured in this case, Tesla wins out. It'll be a bit faster and a bit more convenient to plug in. Circuit electric is upgrading their network to higher speed stuff, but I don't want to be charging at a 50 kilowatt if I can get a clean 150. So let's go get plugged in. Just get plugged in. So 37% state of charge. Just give you a quick update here on what the sitrep is. 632 kilometers traveled so far. We use 138 kilowatt hours of energy, averaging 218 watt hours per kilometer. In this kind of weather, in this kind of temperature, that's pretty good. I'm very happy with those numbers. So let's go get plugged in and see what we get. And see what we get at this version 2. We are on 1A. So we're plugged in on 1A. Oh yeah, baby, the version 2. Look how thick that cable is. And it's frozen. I can barely use it. Come on. There we go. We'll get plugged in. That wasn't working. And this cable is frozen solid. Let's get inside here. Let's get inside. Hopefully we'll get some power. There we go. That was a bit long time for that handshake. 9 kilowatts, 11 kilowatts. We've been preconditioning for quite a while, so I wonder what we're going to get. 74 kilowatts. There's nothing else plugged in around us. 73 kilowatts, that's what we got. High state of charge. Battery still might be cold. Still not bad. We'll charge up here till about 80%, and then we're going to head, let me get back to where we need to be. Here, sorry. Then we're going to go down. Let me just zoom out and get an idea of where we are. Here we go. Because it's too dark and I can't see really well. So we're heading here actually. We're going to be heading down the 381 Saint-Urbain, and we'll be going up to La Malbaie, Pointe-au-Pic. That's where we'll be headed. So 381 down to the 138, back up the 138 to La Malbaie. That's perfect. Laura came back with Red Bull, and I changed over to 2A, and we're at 110 kilowatts. So something was limiting power on that post, but let's have. Still not bad. 65% state of charge. We're still pulling 86 kilowatts. How much have we got here? We've done 16.5 kilowatts since we moved the 16.5 kilowatt hours since we changed posts. $7.03, 42 cents a kilowatt hour. Pretty good pricing, roughly on par with Circuit Electric. That's awesome. We got 10 minutes to go before we hit 80%, and then we'll be out of here at this version 2 site. Just got unplugged at the V2 supercharger, so we went up to 85%. It's showing 173 kilometers until our destination, 2 hours 13 minutes. It says we'll arrive at 30% state of charge. I just have to figure out which way to go out now. It's telling us to go out this way. We'll go out this way. As you can see, we're in a grocery store parking lot, and pushing the trolleys in the snow sucks. We'll just head out this way. We got plenty of energy in the car, plenty of snacks. Everything is good here, except my face being obscured by the darkness, but there's nothing I can do about that. So we'll get on the road here and we'll head to La Malbaie. This road is absolutely crazy. We've been the only people on it for like, what, 30 or 40 kilometers already? What are we at? Minus 17 Celsius. We were just at 896 meters above sea level. It's crazy. And now we're starting to come down the mountain, and it's a 16% downgrade. Absolutely wild out here. It's freezing cold. We're in the middle of nowhere. Very, very cool. We just have to watch out not to hit a deer or something. But super cool. What are we at? We're at 79 kilometers away from the hotel. It says we should arrive at 39% state of charge. We haven't been going very fast here because it's just pitch black. It's pitch black, and it's only 6:16 at night, and we're really in the middle of nowhere in driving through this wilderness or faunic reserve. Absolutely wild. And pretty cool at the same time. What do you think, Laura?
Yes.
Yes, that's all you have to say. You seem thrilled. And it says not to dump any cans.
It's a lot of snow, and we're going to be going downhill soon.
Yeah, but we were already gone down some of the hill already. And there's actually, the snow is starting to thin out. It's not as bad as it was on the other side of the mountain, so I think we're good. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that there's no one on this road except for us right now. And we should be, actually we have 28 more kilometers on it apparently.
No, but it was only 16 kilometers to the bottom of the hill.
Oh, okay. Yeah, to the Pied du Mont. So
assuming that.
Yeah, so the foot of the mountain. Assuming that's the bottom. But yeah, this is super cool. I wouldn't want to go much. We're about 20 kilometers away from our hotel. We're staying at the Fairmont Manoir Richelieu. Yes, that's it. Just stopped here at a random Ford dealer, Performance Ford, right across from us, and they have two beautiful Kempower Circuit Electric all-in-one chargers. Only 120 kilowatts, but that's fine. That's all we need. We'll spend 10-15 minutes here because I don't know the state of charging at the hotel, and we've been kind of screwed a few times with hotel charging. So plugged in at like 35% state of charge. We'll stay here 10-15 minutes. We're pulling 102 kilowatts, so we're almost maxed out on this. And I had to trick for a preconditioning. I don't think you see me well at all here because it's so dark. Super impressed with Ford, super impressed with Kempower. We were on this road of snow at the top of a mountain at 3,000 feet, about 900 meters. And the only car on the road at that time. I didn't see another car for roughly an hour and a half or 2 hours. So it was pretty crazy, I gotta say. It was definitely pretty crazy up on that road. Everything is good here. Car's performing amazing efficiency. We're having an absolute blast. We're a bit late getting to the hotel by like 2 hours, but hey, we're not in a rush to be anywhere. Like I said, this is what I wanted, testing out the charging equipment. It's been absolutely phenomenal on this trip. So we'll charge up here 10-15 minutes. We'll hit the road and I'll see you at the hotel. This is our hotel, Fairmont, Manoir, Richelieu. We've been wanting to stay here for a while. I just got out of the car, but it's absolutely caked in snow. That was a crazy drive coming back from the mountains. Oh, I can't wait to stay here. It's going to be absolutely lovely. Circuit électrique. Apparently that one's not working, I'm told, but it's not a problem. We have enough charge to start the morning time. Let's just go give a summary of the day. We have made it to our hotel. We're staying at the Fairmont Manoir Richelieu. It's a place that we've always wanted to stay, and we finally had a reason to come out here on this drive. And we figured, well, you know, might as well stay for a night or two, enjoy ourselves, and then we get back to work on Monday. Summary of today: we drove 813 kilometers. We used 172 kilowatt hours of energy. Really impressed with the car. 212 watt hours per kilometer, but there was wind, cold, snow. You saw everything in the video. Really impressed with the car. Really good efficiency, but really impressed with the charging. We knew it was going to be good. Maybe used one too many superchargers. I didn't really want to use that supercharger in Saguenay, in Chicoutimi, but kind of had no choice. I needed the speed. We use the Kempower Ford site. Not the fastest, but it's Kempower. It works. Solid to use. Really good interface. Really quick to handshake with the car. Really impressed. You know I love Kempower. We're big fans of Kempower on this channel. Well, we're gonna get out now, and hold on. Let me show you the hotel. So we're just outside the lobby. I don't know how good it's coming up, but we're going to call it a night here. We're going to get some food. I'm going to head to the bar and have a drink, and we'll pick this back up in the morning time.